This is Bedtime Stories, Grownup Edition, Unfinished Business, Part 16. Now, when we left off, Angela had a meeting with Pastor Corey where he dropped a bomb on her. And LJ showed up at Amora's house where she dropped quite a few bombs of her own. And we still don't know who the baby daddy is. It's now Sunday. Q is sufficiently settled into Angela's guest house, and he has everything that he needs. He even has his own private gate entry to the property so that his family and friends can come visit him at their leisure without disturbing the family up at the main house. His rehabilitation is coming along well. He's been focusing his energy on getting his lung capacity up, strengthening his legs, and increasing his exercise tolerance so that his heart and lungs will be healthy. His mobility is pretty good, and his physical therapist is pretty surprised at how well he's able to ambulate between his bed and his chair. He still needs quite a bit of help, and he isn't walking very much on his own. But he's a lot further than they expected in such a short time. Between Angela and the family, Q has had everything that he needs. Company when he desires it, and privacy when he needs it. He's been sufficiently entertained, loved on, and spoiled. When he's felt up to it, he's been wheeled from the guest house to the main house for meals, and when he hasn't, the family's joined him at the guest house. And on occasions when physical therapy has left him spent and he needs to rest, Angela or Miss Brenda or Melissa have brought him a plate to eat later. And everybody's been by to see him. The St. James family, except Donovan, who's in treatment, his co-workers at TCO, his employees at the PI firm, and even Veronica. Since the estate is equipped with an intercom system that provides access to the gates as well as the various parts of the property, Q is able to let his guests in as well as communicate with Angela and the family at the house and participate in their daily routines. The system has audio and video capabilities. So when communication is initiated, the recipient simply needs to activate the audio and video on their end in order to be seen and heard. So Q's been able to participate in the children's bedtime stories and their prayers. And even Angel has come around. He loves stories and sports. So Q has taken to reading to him and watching sports with him. And Melissa, who's taken to calling him her best friend, has designated herself as his physical therapy cheerleader and makes it a point to have her snack and do her homework with him every day. Since Q and Angel are both at the estate all day long, Miss Brenda has taken to bringing Angel by so that he can also cheer Q on during his physical therapy sessions. On more than one occasion, the Queen Mother has made an appearance during the day, and Q hasn't missed that she and Miss Brenda have taken advantage of those times to have side conversations that he hasn't been privy to. Each day, after Melissa finishes with her homework, she sits down with Q and plays one of his favorite games, chess. Q was surprised that Melissa was a quick study. Not only did she learn the game of chess very quickly, but she mastered it. At almost 8 years old, she's turning into quite the opponent. Angela practically has to drag Melissa away after she's played game after game with Q. When playtime is over, Q says to Melissa, "What's the most important piece on the board?" When Melissa signs the Queen, Q reminds her that both she and her mother are queens, and they are the most important pieces in the kingdom. So Sunday morning, Q is prepared to watch his young queen sign the announcements at church during Youth Sunday. Angela's planned a brunch at the house for the St. James family, and in order to make this work, she's gone to the 8 a.m. service to watch Melissa in person. Meanwhile, Miss Brenda and the Queen Mother are preparing the food for brunch. The plan is for Angela to return home after 8 a.m. service, and then for Miss Brenda to go to the church for 11 a.m. service. Then the entire St. James family, minus Donovan, Angela, Regina, and LJ, will sit down for brunch and watch the 11 a.m. service virtually. The only problem is, Q can't wait. As he connects to the church's website on his television mounted on the wall, he sees that the youth choir is already singing. And when the camera zooms in On the tenor section, he sees a young man front and center, wearing his entire face. Shocked and confused, he picks up his phone and calls LJ. LJ says, "What up, Q?" Q says, "Where are you?" LJ says, "I'm running an errand for the Queen Mother. What's up?" Q says, "I need to ask you a question, and I need the truth." LJ says, "Okay." Q says, "Does Amora have a child? A son? Is he mine?" LJ says, "Amora has a son, and we're going to talk about it later on, okay? I promised you I would give you answers today. I just need you to be patient." "What happened, Q? How do you know anything about this?" Q said, "I asked you to tell me the truth. I need you to tell me." LJ said, "Bro, I'm going to tell you everything later on today." Q says, "You mean to tell me that I have a son out here and you've known for what, a week at least, and you haven't said anything to me?" LJ said, "Bro, it's not what you think. I'm telling you to trust me. You told me that you trusted me." Q said, "Who else knows about this, LJ?" LJ said, "Nobody else knows what I know. And you don't know what I know yet." Q said, "You're not giving me any straight answers, and I don't like it. Don't play with me. Don't play with my legacy." LJ said, "Q, I would never do that. You know me." "Hello? Hello?" Q hung up the phone. LJ said, "Damn it." At that moment, the nurse came into the room to get Q dressed for brunch. When he was ready, he told the nurse, "I'm not heading over to the house yet. When Angela gets here, tell her to come see me." The nurse headed to the house, and as soon as Angela walked in, she let her know that Q needed to see her. Angela grabbed Angel from Miss Brenda so that she could head to church, and then she headed over to the guest house. When Angela got there, she saw that the TV was already connected to the church's website. So she said, "Oh, did you already watch Melissa during 8 a.m. service?" Q said, "Yeah, I watched the service." Angela said, "What's the matter?" Q said, "I need to know everything that you know about this situation with Amora." Angela said, "Babe, I told you. I can't tell you anything that's in the file." Q said, "I understand that, but you can tell me whatever LJ has told you." Angela said, "What's going on, Q?" Q said, "That's what I want to know." At that moment, the intercom beeped. Q activated the mic only and said, "What?" Regina said, "Damn, Q, what's wrong with you? Can you tell Angela to come back over to the house real quick?" Angela said, "I'm on my way." Then Q disconnected the intercom system from his end. Q said, "This conversation isn't over. We need to talk, Angela." Angela said, "Okay, I'll come right back after I find out what Regina needs." Angela walked out of the guest house and back to the main house, and when she got there, LJ was waiting. He said, "We've got a problem." He told the ladies about the phone call with Q, and then he starts telling them about his visit with Amora. Regina says, "Okay, so what did she say? Did you get down to the bottom of who the father of the baby is?" LJ says, "Oh, I got a whole lot more than that. I'm talking to y'all before I talk to him because I need help deciding just how much I need to tell him right now." LJ then provided the ladies with a very detailed synopsis of his conversation with Amora on Wednesday. Amora confessed to her ongoing relationship with Captain Arrington from the time she was a freshman in college, to cheating on Q when they lived in two different cities, to sleeping with Donovan after the failed wedding, to her pregnancy, delivery, and subsequent DNA tests. Unfortunately, Q heard the entire conversation. Regina is a novice to using the intercom system, and she failed to disconnect it from her end. Q ear hustles through the intercom system in a fit of rage before he can even hear the final verdict, or what the ladies suggest LJ should communicate to him. He grabs his phone and makes a phone call. He wheels around the room, feverishly grabbing items, throwing them in a bag, while the nurse tries to calm him down and talk him out of leaving. 5 minutes later, he demands that she rolls him down the path to the gate. He puts the gate code in, rolls himself to the sidewalk, and waits for his ride. He makes the nurse stand there with him so that she can't go back to the house and tell Angela and the family what's going on. A few minutes later, a car pulls up and he has the nurse help him transfer from the wheelchair to the car, fold up the wheelchair, put it in the back with his bag, and he drives off. The nurse unlocks the gate and makes a beeline for the house. When Angela goes to pursue him, Miss Bella says, "That's a grown man, baby. If he wants to leave, let him leave." LJ says, "Yep." Angela says, "But I don't understand what could have possibly happened." At that moment, they hear the choir singing on the flat screen TV on the wall. Miss Brenda had connected the TV to the church's website before she left for church. So at that very moment, they were looking up at Q and Donovan's doppelganger. The Queen Mother dropped her glass and almost fainted. Angela covered her mouth in shock, and Regina said, "Well, that'll do it." LJ said, "Damn. Well, that explains his phone call. But why did he leave so abruptly? Didn't he say he wanted to talk to you after you came from the house?" Angela said, "Yeah, right after he disconnected the intercom system." LJ turned and looked at the system on the wall and said, "Babe, you didn't disconnect it on this end. Who knows how much he heard? Oh, God." Angela just started crying. Pops Andy said, in the thickest patois any of them have ever heard, therefore they did not understand, "Somebody better hurry up and tell me what the hell is going on here."